Hello, race fans. Welcome to another episode of Short Track Guys Podcast, brought to you by ShortTrackExclusives.com. I'm your host, Thomas Faddis, alongside two of the same Short Track guys in the studio as always, Jim Pokrant, driver of the 07 Can'tQuitFishing.com sportsman and 2021 sportsman champion here at Pie Flag Speedway in Pensacola, Florida, and Ted Baber, Ted Baber Video Productions.
That's it.
What's up, guys?
What's happening, sir? Good evening.
Sore butts. we did the Iron Butt tour.
Yeah, that was a rough ride, man. That was something else, riding all the way to Fort Lauderdale. Thanks to, first thing I got to do is thank Ben Cranford, dude. He paid for the fuel, got us down there, bought the fuel for the car, and we went all the way to Fort Lauderdale, dropped off the furniture we needed to drop off. Yep. Which was an adventure in itself.
Oh, yeah.
Then we get back on the road and got in some traffic that was totally insane.
Absolutely. That was ridiculous.
Oh, yeah. And then we didn't get back to New Smyrna till 9 o'clock. Well, practice ended at 10.
Right.
So we decided not to try to unload and make any laps.
Yep.
And the people there were very nice. The lady at the gate let us in to drop the trailer off, didn't charge us, which most racetracks would have said that's $10 a piece. You're going to go in there. So we parked the trailer, watched a couple laps of practice, went to Walmart to the hotel, got up the next morning.
And just died in the hotel.
Oh, dude, weird. I mean, we left at 3:30 Friday morning and got to Fort Lauderdale about 5 o'clock that afternoon.
Yeah.
And God bless Ben Cranford. He did all the driving down there and back to New Smyrna. I still can't see how he did it. There's no way I would have been able to do that. Mm-hmm. And poor me and Ted were in the back seat. And I'm going to tell you something. That Dodge is uncomfortable, let me tell you.
Knees up around my neck.
Oh, yeah. And then your butt gets flat and you're moving around trying to get comfortable. It was a pain in the butt.
Literally.
Oh, yeah. We dropped trailer, got up the next morning, ate some breakfast at the hotel, which was nice.
Yeah, waffles.
Stayed at a nice hotel.
In the morning, I made waffles.
And Ted made waffles. So... And I ate a big breakfast. But we get to the track about 1:30, can't get in till 3, so we started walking around talking to people. Met Steve with the 84 Pro Late model. Yeah. Met up with Paul Coachy, who was helping us over the internet, talking to us about racing there. Met some other guys that raced there, that really nice people. I mean, everybody there was very nice, very welcoming to us from coming down there. Yeah. And just an enjoyable time. We get in at 3. We unload the car. I run down and get my temporary NASCAR license, which has been revoked, by the way, because it's only a one-race deal. I'm just kidding. It's a NASCAR racetrack, so they get to go by their rules.
Right. Yeah.
So we unload. We go out to first practice. I was overdriving. I admit it. I was driving in real hard, using a lot of brake, trying to make the car turn, and I realized I was going too hard in the corner, and we were second off the pace. We come in. Talked to Paul Coachy again. He told me what he normally does, right, which would back the corner up a little bit. So we got like 5 laps the second round of practice, which kind of stunk because I figured, but we picked up half a second.
Yeah.
So
brakes were smoking.
The first round. Oh God. And then we took the car in and found one of the brake calipers was hanging up on the right front. So we unloaded when we were supposed to start outside pole.
Right.
Well, Paul Coachy was supposed to start right behind me, and he said if he could get out front, he could win the race. I'm a half a second off. I'm not holding these guys up, and I'm not taking the risk of getting my car tore up because this one dude did dump that 56 car.
Yep.
That was pretty rough wreck. The 04 car, he dang sure dumped the 56. So we went to the back, dropped the green. I passed 3 cars right at the start of the race, and my goal was a top 5, and it was not a very unrealistic goal. We probably would have got there. But 2 laps in, the car starts falling on its face. We had a fuel problem. I don't know whether the fuel was being cut off. We had water in the fuel. I don't know. We just come down pit road and parked it. Yep. I was a little upset. I apologized to my crew for being mad, but Ben didn't understand what I said. He thought I said oil pressure, and I said, no, fuel pressure. And I was like hoping we could open the hood and find something, but we didn't, so we decided to park it. Bucket list item is I'm not satisfied with it, but it's done. It's another one I can check off because I got to race at New Smyrna. Let me tell you something. That place is fun to drive. You drive in turn 3, it's like Mobile. You go down the back straightaway and you set the thing up. It's like dropping into a roller coaster. That thing just plants you down in the seat, and then you start picking the throttle. You drive it off a 4. 1 and 2 is just a weird line. You run in half a groove or further up off the corner. Right. You keep letting the car come up, center corner. You drive it off, and then you make a little turn off the wall and just keep her hammered. Yep. It's just a crazy line. Fun place, fun people. And the Superstock race, Paul Coach ended up winning it, and it's his first feature win.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, talk about excited. Yeah. He was jumping up and down, all his crew, everybody. I mean, it was neat to see. I remember my first win and how cool of a feeling it is, and just to see somebody get their first win. And know we had a little small part because we got out of his way.
Yeah,
and we started up there. He may not have won that race, but he did a great job. Congratulations to him and Pack Racing. That's their race team.
Yep. He was high-fiving everybody.
Oh, dude, that was great. Well, we loaded up and we watched the pro race, which, I mean...
Yeah, Michael Hine, wall to wall.
Yeah, pretty much. Once he got the lead, he was gone. But other notables, Katie Hedinger did a great job. Yeah. I just saying that the pro race was a really good one. I'm surprised that the 51 Nassie and all them weren't there. I was surprised. I figured there'd be a few of those guys there. But Anthony Campy had a good night. Top 5 in that. And then in the super race, Casey Roderick just flat dominated.
Yeah. He walked off and left him.
Oh, my God, dude. And he was gone. Then that crazy-ass wreck.
Yeah, that was
wild. Oh, man, between Michael Hine and the Gavin Graham. Yeah. I mean, Gavin Graham turned him, wrecked him, and never got out of the throttle and drove over the top of him, knocked his carburetor off, and then rolled over.
That was nuts.
I mean, how do you not, you're in front, let off, unless the throttle's stuck.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Because, Gavin Graham's got, racer sense. Yeah. I'm sure he's on the brakes trying to get away from it, but I mean, if it got stuck and just jumped over the top,
or he just freaked out and held his foot on the gas and.
We've talked about, but haven't heard in a long time. Johnny Sauter came in second on that one.
That's who I was thinking of in the '99 car for what's his name, the 5. He's Richie Waters.
Yeah,
and that was cool to see him down there. I saw him when I was getting my NASCAR license. I'm like, I know who you are. That's Johnny Sauter. That's cool.
Our buddy, the Minnesota Missile.
Yeah, he was
third.
Yeah, Gio Rosario drove a good race in the 22 car.
Brad May was the top 5.
Yeah, well, Brad May's the track champion there. He's pretty much the dominant super late model there. But you know what's cool is Anthony Campy and Donnie Wilson just flipped drivers.
Yeah,
Gio Rosario went to drive for him, and then not take it back. That's wrong. Casey Roderick never drove for him, but to know that Anthony Campy got away from Rosario and got Casey Roderick, I mean, and he's already off to a win.
Yep.
I'm telling you, man, that's going to be a heck of a combination for that Stars Tour and everything else this year. I think that's going to be the team to look in super late model racing. But in the other classes they had down there, it was interesting to watch those. What are those?
Mod minis?
Mod minis, yeah. That's weird. Kind of a strange, but, I mean, interesting.
Yeah, it was pretty fun. It sounded like a whole wad of angry bumblebees, but they were getting around the track real well.
They're fast, and they'd look like outlaw late models that are shrunk.
Yeah, threw them in the washer and got them out before they got dry.
Yeah, there was a bunch of them. There was a whole boatload of them. I mean, Lord. We had to pull around there and wait to go out for our race, and we were waiting for them to finish qualifying. I thought they were never going to finish.
Yeah. And he's coming out like little bees.
And then they have Bomber A and Bomber B. Yeah. I think the B class is the 4-cylinder front-wheel drives. And they put on a pretty good show.
Yeah, they did.
Until that little Ford, that ZX4 got out front. He was gone. I don't think nobody could touch him. And then in the Crown Vics.
Yeah, there's a lot of them, too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's a class going to end up at Five Flags, and it's going to grow and grow and grow. Yeah. It's going to be humongous. I mean, it really is going to be humongous because there's so many of those cars around.
I mean, you could tell they had long straightaways because those Crown Vics were straining by the time they got to the end.
Oh yeah, but they were getting through the corners pretty decent. It was an impressive race. That is a fun racetrack. Like I said, it's off the bucket list right now, but I'm wanting to go back with some changes, make my car a little bit better because we were still high enough off the ground compared to them. We could run wider wheels all the way around, which will help stability with the car. Yeah. And we could do a few little different things, I think. I mean, like I said, I think we had a lead lap car, top 5, in that race. And I had fun. Yeah. And that's that. And I really, really appreciate you and Mike Gorham and Ben Cranford because all y'all jumped in there. The car was ready to go. Basically, I had to do is put my suit on and climb in and go get busy. And I appreciate y'all's help. And the ride down there was a fun ride. Mm-hmm. I mean, we got back at like 5 a.m. Sunday morning. We left the racetrack about 9:30 that night after our race and drove straight back. And I'm going to tell you, I haven't been that tired in a long time.
Pretty beat.
Yeah, I figured after all that, down, to Fort Lauderdale and back up to New Smyrna, I figured that, when you got back here, it was just like, I got to take a day off.
Dude, I didn't get out of bed till like noon. When I laid down about 5 a.m. and Ted left, it was just before 5 o'clock. Yeah. We pulled up at my house. And I crawled into bed, and I don't remember nothing until about noon. I remember getting up on the side of the bed. What time it is? Oh, boy.
I woke up at 8 and said, "Nerp, I'm not getting up yet." But I woke up at noon, too, and
just to recap for all our listeners, this is the follow-up from their trip down to Fort Lauderdale on our last episode to do some business and take care of some things, and then take the car, his super stock classified car to New Smyrna in the red eye 50/50. Yeah. And he's been talking about it, and I'm referring to he as Jim here in the studio. Mm-hmm. Making some plans to go elsewhere and try new things. And
so we did.
My question as a driver, regardless of what kind of time frame you had behind the wheel. We did get a clip through, I think, one of the Flow Racing videos that were out there that had videos of you going out on the racetrack. What can you take away from what you learned, even how much or how little, compared to what you do on a regular basis here in Pensacola?
Well, it's just experience. I mean, I race at Pensacola regularly. I've raced at Mobile regularly, and I've won at both tracks, and I've finished well in Montgomery. It's just figure out where the shutdown points are. You can feel it in the seat of your pants, know basically where you're at. I overdrove the first practice, smoked the brakes on the car. And then when I talked to Paul Coachy and a couple other drivers, they're like, dude, you got to watch the late models. Take a late apex in the corner, drive it in, turn it, set it, and start on the throttle. And you feel it when the car takes a set and it's ready to go all the way to the floor. And once I figured that out, we gained a half a second. I think with a little bit of setup work and some more practice, I could probably get the car in the 21s down there. We were in the mid 22s. Yeah. We need to be in the mid 21s. So I think we can gain even more on it because we were low 22s by the time we were done the second round of practice. So we gained a half a second. And that's not, one thing we did was take one round out for the race.
Right.
This car's a little tight getting into one. But with some help and some people who've raced down there, and some ideas, we could probably come back and run better. And I think that would be fun. Even Ben Cranford come up with an idea. We got a chassis sitting around. Why not convert it, move the motor back, make it ready for those races that you can set the engine back, run a little more, hang a good body on it, and make it look good, and we'll take it to those races.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's also something that's going to be on our watch list, with this new 2023 season coming up. Who knows? You run a half season here, or have the car came back from New Smyrna in one piece. You got a little bit of a figuring out to do, see what happened, but there's water under the bridge, and now you got a new season to look forward to, and at least it's not bringing it home in 5 pieces, and have to figure out what you got to do this year.
Well, hence the reason why I took up tail end Charlie. Just to stay out of the way, because some of those guys are getting around. They're pretty sporty, and I've got behind a couple of those guys, and them cars are wide. When I say wide, I'm talking about like 1 inch offset wheels, and they're wide. Yeah. So and it was fun, and I'm interested to see what the payout is, what I got for last place, because I don't think they pay very well there, but that's okay. It was a fun race. I appreciate the people in New Smyrna, and that's something I want to bring up real quick. Promotion. Yeah. Before the next day was up, there was already a video of our race on the internet. There was pictures of my car on the internet. They have their photographer, and I'm not downing our photographer at Five Lakes. Eddie Ritchie does a great job. He can do the same thing. He can print you a picture at the track. They had a little trailer set up, and the photographer was there, and he had a computer set up there, and they did all this stuff, and they pulled your picture. Ted, thank you again. He bought me 2 pictures from down there of the car going through the corner and down this front straightaway and stuff like that, so they could do it instantly.
Yeah, it was great.
They promote their lower classes. They had videos. They talked about the drivers. They thanked me for coming down there over the PA. I think that Five Flags is missing the boat on the internet.
And they could take some notes on how to handle it.
Oh, God. It was great. The next morning I'm looking, I'm like, dang, cool, the video's already up. You know, I watched my 2 laps of Fury, but, you know, the point being, we need that. And Ben Cranford's on Tim about that. You need to get somebody to do your social media, because people will take more notice now on social media than they will anything else. I mean, like I said, my Facebook page was blowing up with there's 5 or 6 different pictures of my car on the internet by different racing things. Sunshine State put a picture of my car up. You know, New Smyrna did. Skinny Roth, he's a guy that writes for New Smyrna. He put some pictures up. The LKU Superstocks of New Smyrna put pictures up. I mean, that's cool. They don't have to do that. I was the last place car. I didn't, you know, I came all the way from Florida. They could have not promoted me, but they promoted me, and I thought that was a really neat thing. And I think that's something that a lot of short tracks, especially, I hate to say it, Tim's missing out on is social media.
Yeah. I mean, that promotion helps a lot, because I know especially they were interested because we hauled from such a long ways away, but there was a car there from New Jersey too. So.
Yeah. Oh, that thing was rough.
Yeah.
I mean, it's bad when you got rub rails all the way around and your body is still killed.
Yeah, it's a little different.
That thing looked like it'd been in a demolition derby. I mean, and the guy raced me clean. I passed him, and he never got into me or anything, but I bet he races at Wall Stadium because they run pretty rough up there. But hey, that was cool. He towed all the way down to run this race. I bet he'll be back for Speed Weeks.
Yeah.
Well, that might be something we need to reach out to and get in touch with him and see if we can't put him on the phone and do him a remote little episode next week about his experience.
Yeah.
And the whole trip from up north and east.
From the hinterlands of New Jersey.
Yeah, that's a long ride, dude. Ooh, you think our ride was long. But, I mean, you know what? It was a great experience all around. I enjoyed the people. The officials were friendly and nice. Anytime you went up, there's a dude that worked the gate right near us. And I said, dude, I hate to keep bothering you. Well, then don't. And he's like, I'm just kidding, man. What do you need? And he was always right there with an answer, you know. And I said, well, I'm taking up tail end. He said, well, tell you what, pull down there. And when they pull out on the track, just fall to the back. And he said, if they say anything, I'll tell them over the radio that you want to take up tail end. I said, well, I appreciate that, you know. So, and like I said, big thanks to Ben and Mike and Ted for going with us. And like I said, they jumped in there and helped on the car, and I appreciate it. And Ben, and we all had a great time. And I want us to make another road trip and do it again sometime soon.
Even the guys in the tech shed were very helpful, you know, and letting you know what you needed to do or if anything needed to be changed. We didn't really have to do anything. But.
No, I mean, we checked up on the rules and everything. Yeah. I mean, the only thing I think, it just, I don't know, it was great. And like I said, congratulations again to Paul Coaching on his first win. Dude, that's just awesome. It was cool to see. It's so cool to see a guy win his first race. You know, I remember mine and just to see the look on his face and how excited they were. And he was fast. And so congratulations to him and his team, Pack Racing.
Yeah, you think you might put something together to come back for Speed Week?
I don't know if I'm going to have the money.
I know it's February, but I mean, you know, just some time to make some plans to go back down there. And you've got a little taste of what it is. And
maybe. I mean, I'm thinking I'd rather go back for a regular season show and get some more time in before I show up for that race, because there's a lot of cars come to that one, and I don't think I want to get involved and get tore up, but we'll see. It depends on money. I mean, you know, I've got to get a motor put together because that's Ben Cranford's motor, and I need to get one of my own so he can put that motor in his car so he can race.
That was Scott Riggleman, who it was. It was he's from Manchester, New Jersey. So
Manchester, Scott Riggleman. Okay, that's right. Yeah, he posted some pictures of him too. And that's the thing.
Yeah.
Everybody that raced in that race got pictures on the internet. You've got to promote on the internet now. It's just the way of the world.
Yeah.
And we have nobody doing social media at our racetrack, and it's a shame because it's just not getting done. You can't have a website anymore. You've got to go on Facebook and TikTok and all this other crap and promote your drivers, promote people that show up.
Oh.
You know, you get them, that helps them with sponsors.
It'll pay dividends in the long run.
Yes, it will. It'll help with sponsors and stuff. But I mean, you know, they had all the classes they had. There was plenty of cars. Well, I think we were the only division that had the least amount of cars. Yeah. I think we had 9 of us, and but I mean, yep. The B bombers and the A bombers had a great show, and they kept things moving.
Right.
I felt they did a great job. And then they had the 602 modifieds, which are like the ground pounder cars, the 602s. But those things were all over the place. I don't know if those guys know how to set them up or what, but they were about to wreck every lap. And then you had the regular modifieds. And that show they ended up tearing a bunch of them. This one dude went head on in the fence. Did you see that wreck?
No.
He got bumped. He turned in 3 and 4 and went straight in. I mean,
oh man.
And the kid that got him. It was just racing. And the kid that wrecked, are you okay? Okay. Yeah, I'm fine. Is the other guy okay? Yeah, he's fine. Okay. The kid was in the car practically in tears. His dad's like, it's not your fault. He's like, Dad, but is he okay? I don't want to hurt anybody. He says, no, son, he's fine. It wasn't your fault. You could hear it in the kid's voice. He was just practically in tears that he was worried about that other driver.
Well, concern is a good thing. You want to be sure everybody else is good.
But the modified race was a wreck fest. They were a couple of times somebody got dumped. This was just the guy had his nose under him. They touched, and that car turned right, and went straight in. It was a scary looking crash, but the guy was okay. And then the other guy, like I said, that kid was worried. He was worried and worried and worried. And his daddy kept telling him, "It's all right, son. You didn't do anything wrong. It was just racing." But Daddy, and he was,
Yeah.
But thank goodness everybody was okay. The racing, was good, and I want to go back there again. Even if I don't race, I would love to go sit in the grandstands and watch the races there.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to find out here in the next couple of weeks whether that pans out. To make it down to New Smyrna back in the speed weeks, because that's going to be a week or so long, different classes, and maybe you get an opportunity to go take that back and do a little bit better, obviously.
Yeah.
But one of the other races that we covered last week in our episode was the New Year's Bash, and I know it's only 10 or 11 days, 12 days now into the new year. But this is a big win from a guy from Massachusetts, Tommy O'Sullivan, overcoming the odds on Sunday night through a B main and escaping to a chaos, I guess they would say. 100 laps to take the checker flag. And after missing out on a top 20 qualifying spot, he went to one of the B mains to start Sunday afternoon, and he won the race and gave him a starting spot on the 11th row for the feature. He worked his way up to fourth and then spun after contact with another driver on, really early, not quite halfway through the race, but he overcame the odds and ended up winning the race. And congratulations to Mr. Sullivan. This was at Dillon Motor Speedway, the New Year's Bash, with the Street Stock Nationals. Now, Jim went down to New Smyrna with the Super Stock Nationals, if you will, with the Red Eye 50/50. But this was a similar type of race, but it was in South Carolina. And congratulations to Tommy O'Sullivan. We've talked about winning races. Yeah. There's no other feeling.
No, but to come out of the B main and then win the feature of a 100-lap race and get spun, and that was his time to win that race. That's for sure, and that's really cool. Congratulations to him coming down from Massachusetts. That's a big race, but those cars are street stocks. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. The bodies on them are practically late model now, and they've gotten way away from street stock. Shout out to Jonathan Langham. He tried to make the race up there and didn't do it, but hell, he was representing us. But yeah, that car he's got ain't nothing compared to what them boys run. Yeah,
it's just when you do that traveling, you've got to understand the rules. You got to understand what you've got, what the track is, and I can't imagine doing that traveling kind of thing, and not just doing the Mobile, Pensacola kind of circuit, but if you're traveling around, especially across the country,
long distance.
Yeah, even long distance. Yeah, you've got to take something down there and know what's going on, and that's all a part of racing, and that's the exciting part about going in and doing well.
Well, the thing is too, you got to consider. You read the rules and you go up there and try. I went to op and I brought a knife to a gunfight and ended up winning the Rattler. So, it can happen. You can't not go and try. You never know what'll happen. You might make the race and do pretty well, and you might not. But congratulations to Mr. Sullivan and his team. Did a great job, drove a long ways, and the dude drove his rear end off, obviously, and got the win. So congratulations to them.
Yeah, I think he had one or two after that race was over.
Yeah,
probably. Yeah, he might have had
one or two or 10. I don't know.
2, maybe 7.
I might be sitting in the parking lot waiting to sober up to drive home.
Yeah, exactly. Congratulations, Mr. Sullivan. That's I look forward to many more of that. And speaking of many more, we're going to get into one of our heroes that are coming up, making his trek out to Bakersfield, California at Irwindale. And none other than Mr. Bubba Pollard.
Yeah.
2-time winner of that race. I might add back to back going out there to Irwindale. He's got a shot, and we'd love to see him start off his season out there with a showdown win. The dude is bad to the bone no matter where he goes.
Yep.
The first time he won it was in a port city, so he's back in another one, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, they're back at Kern County in California. He has won there. He's looking for his fourth, I think, if I'm reading this correctly. You know, Bubba Pollard has been a big staple in our studio. Yeah. We have a fender from one of his very first brand new Port City race cars. Unfortunately, sorry, Bubba. Yeah, but you did win Friday night, and we got the fender from Saturday night. But you've always been a big fan of ours, and you guys taking that team out on the West Coast now, going up with Jesse Loves, Jeremy Doss, Derek Thorne out there in Irwindale. You've been out there before. You've been to Washington. You've won the summer shootout and the winter showdown or whatever it is.
King of the Pros
Georgia.
in Canada.
So that's going to be interesting here coming up. It's a half mile, obviously, but Pollard knows what he's doing. He's got a great team. I don't think he'd make the trek out there if he didn't know.
Well, yeah,
he didn't have a chance.
That far, and if you didn't have at least a decent opportunity to win the race, and well, you know that he does. So.
Going to be interesting, that's for sure. And good luck to him and his team, and go get it done, big dog.
Yeah, $25,000 on the line, and he's not afraid of going out and taking that check and saying, "Thank you, that's mine. Bye."
Yeah, see you later.
Have a nice day.
Put that check in the truck. Move on to the next one.
Yep. Mm-hmm. So there's another big race that's actually happening right now, as we speak. The Chili Bowl Nationals at the same complex that we were talking about the Tulsa Shootout last week. This is the Chili Bowl Nationals at SageNet Complex in Tulsa, Oklahoma. It's an indoor facility that is prepared once a year for the Chili Bowl Nationals and the Tulsa Shootout, which is actually like a prelim for the Chili Bowl. You've got Rico Abreu,
Caden Honeycutt,
Sammy Swindell, of all sprint car drivers, but they're not really sprints; they're midgets. So
they're basically a small version of a non-wing sprint car that really tote the mail. And when they wreck big, and they wreck spectacularly. Even in that little bitty arena, they flip and flop. And I mean, guys like Rico Abreu and them get after it. And it's a great show. I mean, they have a A through a Z main, and A1 main, and A2 main, and A3 main. I mean, there's so many.
They call it
cars.
the Alphabet Soup.
Alphabet Plus,
Alphabet Plus,
Alphabet Plus.
So I mean, it's a great show, and it's usually comes down to two of the greats getting after it. So, I mean, this year Kyle Larson isn't there. I know his wife just had a baby, and Christopher Bell didn't come this year.
Right. Yeah, there was two of the big names that didn't show up, but I mean, okay, so you take two of the big names out, but you got six of them that are in. So it's a great deal, and I think Wednesday night tonight is a third of the week prelim to get into the qualifying night. Like it's qualifying Monday, Tuesday, and then tonight, and then Thursday, Friday. And then they take the top 30, I think, and they run 50 laps, I think, for the whole kit and caboodle. And it is the Golden Driller.
Yeah. Yep. A track that size with 30 cars? Oh, Lord.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And they, like I said, when they crash big and spectacular and do it in front of the camera.
Well, there's cameras everywhere, so yeah.
Definitely an interesting setup. But, we did... we were talking about Bubba a few minutes ago. He had a decent run down at the Freedom Factory.
Yeah, seventh place.
Seventh place at the Freedom Factory, owned by Curtis McFarland, the old DeSoto Speedway. Put on a big race this weekend with the SRL Series, which is Ricky Brooks.
Yeah.
Yep.
They ran the Sportsman Series, which is the old Wheelman Series. Yeah. Who ended up winning that?
Daniel Webster.
Daniel Webster, that's right, the one car. And he's been to Pensacola. Yep. Bubba finished seventh.
Steve Gill, second. Tim Sozio, I hope. The third, Tyler Schofield. We've talked about him before.
Good number on that car, 07.
Yeah. And Austin Craig is the top five. We have, Adam Briggs, Dylan Bigley. We've talked about some of the other guys. And let's see, 13th. I think we know this person finished in 13th.
She has been on an episode with us.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Miss Cody Brusso.
Right. Yeah. So, going down there and having some fun. And
hey, making that race was big with 45 cars trying to make the show.
Yeah.
Hell, Curtis McFarland, who owns the place, didn't even get to race.
Yeah, that's got Cletus McFarland.
Cletus McFarland, that's right. What Curtis McFarland?
I don't know.
But he's now that dude. You talk about a guy that's involved in motorsports and likes to have fun.
Yeah.
That place puts on the Danger Ranger race. They have a Crown Vic race where they actually run like a road course through the X's down there, and it's. I mean, they had a lot of fun. It's a cool deal. But congratulations to everybody down there. They had the Crown Vics, they had the street stocks, or the quote unquote pure stocks. And that was a heck of a wreck fest. They had a couple cars get really tore up in that race. It's a little bitty place, but they do big and tear up stuff. So going to be interesting. And speaking of the Sweat Hog, I just noticed you posted that up there, Thomas. I may have a car for the Sweat Hog Grand Prix. I'll know this weekend. I've got a buddy that's got a Volkswagen Jetta that I can get for $250. It's a Jetta station wagon.
Oh, God. That ought to be fun.
It runs and drives. It's just got a problem with the heater hose, which you can't buy the heater hose. I'll just bypass the heater. The heck with that, I don't need heat.
Nope.
And I may run the Sweat Hog Grand Prix. It's not a definite yet, but it's something that I'm looking to maybe get into. We got the swap meet coming up, and this weekend's our awards banquet, which I'll get my third place trophy and money for the season, which crappies we ran, how we wound up third, I have no idea, but we're there. So I'm going to take the accolades and get my chance to say thank you to everybody and walk away and see what happens. But just looking forward to everything. I think that everything's going to be good this year.
Yeah, January 14th, I think, is what I'm looking at right now with the awards banquet. February 4th, I know we're stretching it a little bit out there, but February 4th be the swap meet.
It's $20 if you're selling, and it's nothing if you're not. You can come and buy and look. So we always try to get there as soon as the thing opens. So, it's so funny how somebody will pull in with a pickup load full of stuff, and it's like a bunch of vultures. They fly. We all fly around the truck. Oh, what you got? What you got? It's so funny to me how when people just like, the truck pulls up, guy even got out of his truck yet, and they're like, what, how much is this? What are you selling this for? Hey, whoa, easy. Easy.
Yeah, February 25th is what Jim and Ted were talking about, the Sweat Hog, which is a Grand Prix style short track race. It's a
road course.
The road course. Yeah,
four-cylinder, front-wheel drive, bone stock.
Yep.
For an hour and a half. And you run a road course around Five Lakes Speedway. I've done it before. It's so much fun. And a friend of mine asked me about this Jetta. And I said, what do you want for it? And he said, I'll take $250. I'm like, does it run? Yeah, it runs fine. You just got to bleed the brakes and you got to bypass this hose. And I'm like, he said, all I want's my money. He just put new tires on it before it had the heater hose problem. And he said, I just want my money back out of the tires. So now all I got to do, if I get it, is go by the junkyard, buy a couple of spare tires and wheels.
Yep.
And
you're going to need those.
Yep. Set the front end and strip out the interior and let her eat.
Yeah. And then, we're getting a little further out there with March 10th and 11th with the ASA, the Stars National Tour 200 coming in Five Flag Speedway here in Pensacola, and then March 24th and 25th the ARC 200, which is I think going on their third or fourth year now. At Five Flags,
fourth.
I think so. It's the ARC Menards East Series that comes in here, runs a big event on the weekend following that Stars National Tour kicking off, really.
Speaking of ARCA, our boy Christian Rose is driving for a different team this year.
Yes, that's absolutely right. And thank you, Jim, for bringing that up.
I remember I posted something. I put short track guys say congratulations. He said he's going to go for the whole championship. So that's cool. Maybe we can get him back on here and tell us about it.
Yeah.
Because, he's a daddy now and everything. He's got a lot going on, man. That's really cool. He started with us. We were the first podcast we had him on, and that was neat. And how cool would that be if he's the ARCA champion?
Wow. Oh, well, we had him on the first time and found out about his story through his PR guy got in touch with you, and we hooked it up, and we got him on the phone remotely for an episode, and his first one about sneaking into the garage, and what a great story that was, and now to see him posting his progression and getting into that type of situation where he's going to run full time now for Arkansas Series Championship.
Yeah, that would be something to watch and hear about.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe, like I said, we'd get him on here and let him talk about it.
Definitely going to reach out to get him back on here for sure.
Yep. That'd be awesome. So I'm just, like I said, this is going to be a great year. We're just going to have fun. Like I said, the Sweat Hog, to me, I've done it. It's a blast. I want to do it again. So we're going to try to get that car together. I mean, it's nothing but $100 entry fee and some gasoline.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's just accumulation of another episode. Sure, we can bundle that up, and it's 2023 is already kicked off into a good direction.
I'm tickled, man. I'm just, I'm blessed to be part of this sport for years, and have made good friends, and I'm blessed to get to do this podcast with you guys because it's something I'll talk about till the cows come home. We can sit and talk racing and tell stories. It's fun going to a new racetrack and seeing new people and telling stories about races and things like that. And just, I mean, me and Mike, on the way back, I had to drive for a little while because, man, poor Ben, he was out, got to Lake City. He's like, dude, I can't drive no further on the way home. So I got in the truck and drove all the way to Funiac. And me and Mike talked about, we swapped stories when we first started racing, how we got started. I mean, to me, that's one of the biggest parts of the sport is the friendship.
Yeah. The people you meet, the relationships you make, and things like that.
Yeah. I mean, it's like we preached it for however long we got started. 2.5 years. We've been working. April will be 3 years now as Short Track Guys podcast here in our studio. And we preached first responders. We, with people that have helped you in the pits. It's just a family. The whole group works together. And I mean, I don't know. There's another greater sport than what we're talking about.
No, there's not. You can name one sport you can walk up to your hero and get an autograph without having to buy it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I'm talking about short track racing. Big time, yeah, it's kind of hard too. But in our type of racing, man, you little kids look up to you, adults look up to you. I've numerous fans. I got people that when it's really cool when people recognize you and they talk to you. Oh, yeah, man, I know who you are. Well, through this podcast, I've had people recognize me.
Last year at the Derby, walked right up to Eric Jones and William Byron, got their autographs, no problem.
Yep. Oh, that was cool when I got Bill Elliott and Chase Elliott one year on my old autograph book and got Bubba Pollard signed. And Bubba's looking at this, man, how long have you had this? 9 years old I've had this. He's like, wow. I'm like, yeah, it sits on my dresser and I still pick it up every once in a while and just in awe at the drivers I've met over the years.
Yeah.
And just, I mean, people like Harry Gant, Neil Bonnet, Bobby Allison just love the fans, man. They're not like that anymore in the big time, but the short track guys, we'll talk to the fans. We'll do what we got to do to keep the fans happy.
Yes.
Yep. It is short track racing, alongside with the Short Track Guys podcast. That's what we do. We love it. We're passionate about it. And guys, again, I can't say this enough. I appreciate you guys getting together and being so motivated about short track racing and putting this out there for our listeners. Their support is our motivation, and that's what keeps us going, even though we probably would do this regardless, but because that's what we love. We love short track racing, and we talk about it, we live it, we breathe it,
it's like they say, if you love your job, it's not work.
No.
Yeah.
Right.
No.
And we appreciate your support, and thank you guys for getting together. It is Short Track Guys. There are 3 of us, and we're all in it together, and thank you so much. I don't know how we do this again. We've done it before. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, we've done it all the way around.
Do we do it together or we just...
Uno, dos, tres.
Yeah. Get a little international flavor.
Uno, dos, tres.
Let's go, Brandon.
Good night, everybody.
Thanks for listening.